Hello again folks, welcome to another video. We're in the garage again and we're doing some prep work ready for getting towards painting parts of the shell at least. So in this episode we're going to finish off some bits and bobs in the engine bay. There's an area below the radiator which was cut out and only tacked in place, so we're going to fully weld that. Going to make some gussets for the chassis where they just between the chassis and the bulkhead. A couple of rally style gussets there. Don't intend to fully weld those in. It's not going to be a competition car, but it will help a little bit. And they look quite smart as well, so I quite like the look of them. And the heater bubble as well, so we're going to clean that up and do a couple of little repairs on that. And then we'll be ready for prepping, seam sealing and painting the engine bay. But that'll be in the next episode, so just want to concentrate on getting bits ready and finish off welding and bits and bobs on this one. So I hope you enjoy. So it's been a while since the last video. Again, busy life. You may see in the background just there some shelving. I've been busy putting up some Dexian shelving in the garage as well, which has made almost no difference whatsoever to my storage space. All this effort, dragged everything out of the garage, put the shelving up, put everything back in again, and I still seem to be falling over myself. So hey ho, maybe I've got too much rubbish in the garage. But never mind. Hope you enjoy the video and I'll see you at the end. Right then, let's make a start on sorting out a few, or finishing off a few repairs and bits and bobs. So we've got a repair to do on the heater bubble there. Obviously clean the old paint off of it and what have you. Our gussets you want to make in there and finish off our welding in there. Now there's quite a big gap in there because I was trying to cut that upside down with an engine in the way, so I've made a bit of a mess of that. So you'll see is a strip of metal there. I'm going to use that like a filler rod as I'm welding to make up the gap. Right then, I think that might be the ugliest welding I've ever done in my entire life. Good job we got grinders, isn't it? Righto, nice bit of grinding and that sorted that out. So that's both sections of that welded up and tidied up and blended in. So I'm not going to worry too much about getting it too superb. It's all out of sight. So I chuck a bit of paint on that. And then we can start looking at making our gussets. There you go, a bit of Halford's finest weld through primer on there. I'll keep the rust at bay until we're ready for actually painting the engine bay, which hopefully won't be that far off. Got a little bit sidetracked with bits and bobs here, so I've still yet to do me gussets. But you'll see I've put a couple of nut certs in there for me steering rack, shaft rather, bushing at the bottom there to locate that. And the same here, using riv nuts, fitted my coil pack and my ignition controller. So that's all in place. You can see from that side, you got the riv nuts there and under the arch there. And I'll be using stainless screws on all little bit stuff like this, which isn't strength related, but don't want them going rusty on me. So that'll be better. Right, now I really should get on with these gussets because I'm procrastinating about them. Right, hopefully this camera angle is going to be suitable. I try not to get my big head in the way. It's quite difficult to get camera angles in a relatively short space, so I will see what we can come up with. So from what I can see in pictures online, we're looking at something sort of along those lines across there, which sort of an angle there, and sort of down there to pick up just to the edge of this, I think. And that does put a straight edge up to there. It's actually on the bump of that, so I might have to work around that. So I've got myself some cardboard and some sticky tape and scissors let's go blue peat on it. Right. Don't want to go that harsh with it. So let's just get some measurements first. Okie doke, let's have a look. So we want to be looking at about that angle, I guess. So 45 degree-ish, 12. Yeah, something like that I think will do us. And then sort of I'm thinking of seeing if I can put a scallop in that, then sort of like that. Not that I think I need it for the exhaust when it's in final position, but it might help getting the exhaust in place. And I've noticed that on the ones you can buy, they have that sort of scalloping on it. So let's see what we can do about that. So what you want is space for something to fit in. Let's just start cutting and see what happens. Okay, I think that might work, so stick that in place. To add a gusset under that as well, I think. Alright, is this the case of then like that, I wonder? I think it will be. Okay, I think that's a better, more neater looking scallop. So it's just a matter of making the bit for the middle now. Yeah, there we go. That's basically the idea. I'm not going to get too carried away with getting this too super accurate here, because the idea is make this out of a couple of bits of metal, and I can roughly make that just about that size with the curve on it, tack it in place, and then grind it back flush, and then that'll look a lot neater once it's all ground up and tidy. So that's basically the idea. That gets the gusset in place and a little bit of a thing on there, so we can a bit of clearance for the exhaust hopefully. And we've got wiring loom to come across here and down there as well, so that'll make a nice path for that to run around there also. So I think we're on the right track there. We need to add a bit there for the tab there. So the other thing I want to do with this now is I'm not going to fully weld this. I've no intention of bouncing this around a forestry or putting it into any sort of competition. It is just a road car, and this will help a little bit. So notice I've got a tab folded behind there, so I can plug weld to the there from the other side. I'm going to put a tab on here as well, so it'll come off like that and down, so we can plug weld that, and that's what that tab there is for. So we'll be able to plug weld there and there. That's the plan. Let's get a tab to go down there. Now, of course, that tab is going to have that shape on it to go around that. So that might be just a case of hammering that in place, and I'm ready. Something like that. Okay, straighten that up, that's a bit wonky. And in theory, this should fit the other side. Turn it inside out. Well, mostly it does, but there's a little bump there that we'll have to work around. But we can use the same pattern for it and then just trim that to suit that side when we come to it. So that's also very good news. Also means the car's symmetrical, which is also encouraging. So that's good. Right. Let's make a couple of those in steel. Right, there we go. That's those cut up and ready for folding and welding up. Right then, let's have a look. So first thing I want to do is get the main fold in first, because if I have to, I can hammer form the other ones down. So we want to get the main fold along there and the other way around. Okay, this will be the driver's side then. Oh, that's right. Oh, I was right in the first place, doing the passenger side first. So there we go, that's that one. So let's see if we can, I want to fold that one that way. Transfer those. Yeah, I'm going to do this on a block and form them over. Yes. Oh, oh. Need to fold that one right over. How are we going to do that? Like this, I reckon. Get it started at least, and then we can perhaps hammer it down. I might come back that one in a second as well. I'll have a think about it. So what I'm trying to do here is lay me where I want to fold. That is pretty obvious because you've got a cut there and a cut there. And if I get that on the, lay that on the crease there and hammer on the crease, it should, and usually does, get things started. If you don't get your thumb in the way. So you can see the crease starting there, pretty much where we want it. Hopefully. I might have clamped this one down as well. It's getting out of hand. Right, I think that's how we want it. Touch on that side, I think. Right, let's try that again then. Don't get too carried away hammering it on the flat there because it will start to stretch it if you're not careful. So we've got that shape we want to hammer in. We'll figure that out in a second. And that we want to hammer over further. And I'll simply just be hitting it. Like so. You can work with that because the idea is to plug weld that through from the other side of the bulkhead, and the same there. Right, let's see how we're going to make that shape there then. Okay, so what I've done in the past, let me rearrange you guys again a little bit, which usually works fairly well, is if you open the vise out to that gap and simply hit down into it. The other vise would have been better because this has got a horrible straighted edge on it. We will work with it. Then tap that down. And kind of like so, we've lost a little bit of shape there, so we need to get that back. And tap that down onto there as well. Let's see what we can do about that. I don't think we're a million miles away with that. That gives us our little kick over for the little pressing on the bulkhead. Right, I'm going to give that a whirl, I think. Have a look, see what we got. Yeah, it's not a million miles off there. A little bit of pushing into the corner and shaping. That'll come in nicely. Okay, we're on the right track with that. And we'll use our homemade pipe anvil for that as well. And I said that some of that might be able to do that by hand, so we'll give it a whirl by hand first. far off. Yeah, that's close enough to do something with that, I reckon. Just a touch more up there, I think. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so you see the idea now is we just place that in, tack that on, and then use a cutting disc end to bring the edges up once we've got it welded. But I think what I'll do, I'll screw this in place and then tack this onto there. So reasonable quality snips comes into the room. Yeah, that's better. Charge my battery up. Right, that's tight enough for what we want to do. That one didn't quite want to go all the way in. Let's try it again. There it goes. Righto, that'll do us. Just to get our shape in. So now we can tack that into there, then unscrew it. I'm going to get no room here. And unscrew it, then fully weld it and cut it back and mess about with it. There we go, welded up, grounded up, and back in place, and looking like it belongs there. So I'll spray that one up with a bit of weld through now, inside and out. Then I'll make a start on the other one. I won't film that, it's exactly the same process as that one's been. There we go, that's that one all painted up and ready to be welded in. And that one's just complete now and ready for paint. Okay, so a little update to where we're at. I've got the plug weld holes drilled out, ready to go, and everything has been covered with good zinc weld through primer. And this now, same inside and out, fully nicely covered. That'll go there. Just got to put some plug weld holes in that. And same here, this one's ready to go and be welded in position. So that's the next challenge now, get those plug welded in.
Okay, so you'll see obviously this is an area which I had sort of finished, but that's not the end of the world. I can soon touch this back up again when I come through. I got too far ahead of myself here, but I can do something with it. That's not, I'm not overly worried about that, but hey ho, what's got to be done is got to be done. Right, there we go. That's that all plug welded in place and painted up. Ground back and painted up and looking dandy. Same with that side. Now I appreciate I didn't need a scallop in that side, but I got carried away and did one anyway. Just because I wasn't thinking, as it happens, and it was by the time I'd done it, so it's there now. And under the arches where I've had to redo the clean the thing away, that's no problem. We'll soon get that sorted when we get the paint out and the craft checks out again next time. We'll soon blast that over, that's no problem at all. Okay, next challenge is have a look at our damage there. I think something was screwed into that rather than rust damage. It looks, I can't remember, I seem to remember there's something to do with the LPG conversion was hacked onto there. I do have a new bubble, but this one's not that bad that it needs the work involved with doing that. But I can use this one as a guide. So you can see you've got the hole there for the drain hole, and there's a shape around that. So see if we can try and find that and keep that. There's also a shape there which seems a bit lost. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is strip this off with the angry wheel and see what we got. Don't let Mrs. Dave know I know how to use a vacuum cleaner. Alright, there we go. The angry wheel and the poly strip disc made a short work of that. And you can see now the actual condition, it's not looking too bad. So you take that off, it's just easier to work with it with that out of the way. I'll clean that up and probably tack that back on again later. So on the whole, we're pretty good. I think we got a very small dink over here somewhere, there and there, and a little dink there. But I'm not going to be overly precious about that sort of thing. A little bit of filler will tidy that up. So what we want to do is see if we can sort this monstrosity out just here.
Right, hopefully I can do this without getting right in the way of the camera. It's very awkward to set a tripod up here and get close enough, so this is best I can do, I think, at the moment. So we've got the shape around there and that hole there, which has been sort of all caved in. You can feel it. It looks like somebody's taken something sharp and just punched it through. So there's a dip there we need to pull out, and that shape we get around there. So a little bit two minds of what to do here. I can possibly get a hammer in there to get some of this out. Yeah, that's helped with that. How much further in behind can I get? We do something hook shaped, I think, to get in there. How will that work? So a spanner with a socket in the end of it. Can we get that in there? Not quite. Oh yes, I can. Oh, dropped it. Ah. Okay, I think I should put a step drill in that, if I can, to drill out the worst of that, without trying to drill through the bubble behind. So. The question is now, can I make a little disc to go in there with that little corner shape on it? Let's find out. Okay, I reckon that's our shape. Right, to get the shape we want, we can find something that sit into. We should be able to just donk it in, something like that. That's probably more sensible. Big hammer. Right then, let's have a look at the car, see if it's the right idea. It's not quite central, but that might help us actually, so we can choose which one we want. And I reckon we're not far off with that corner there. Let's trim that out and then see if we can use it. Yeah, I reckon we could do something with that. That's not a million miles off. Something with that, I reckon.
Right, that's not too bad. It's not a perfect metal finish, but I never worry about that. Bit of filler, will go over that and tidy and bring this up. But we've got that arc there that we can work with now. So I think the next stage is get some primer on that and the front and back of this, so we can then spot that back onto there. Because that's our washer pot thing, and I want to keep hold of that. Right, there we go. That's it all back together. Got the bracket welded back onto there and all painted with some weld through zinc rich primer to keep it tidy. So that'll be enough for this episode. So we've cleaned that up, repaired that, refixed that, made a couple of gussets and fitted or finished off welding our radiator cutout there. Righto, hope you enjoyed that. There's a fair bit of work involved in making those gussets. A bit of templating, a bit of messing about and in place, and on off they go. You'll notice the under the arches where I had already thought I'd finished them. I didn't think too far ahead on that, so but they'll touch up nice and easy enough. Just a bit more Gravitex on those and a bit of paint. You've already seen how easy the 2-pack paint brush is, so it'll be easy enough to touch up. So hopefully on the next episode now we'll get the inside all seam sealed up and cleaned up, and any sort of dinks and donks, just a little skim of filler just to make it look presentable. I'm not going to go overboard with it, but it would be nice to be presentable. And at the very least, hopefully by the end of the next episode, the engine bay will be in primer, if not top coat. But we'll see how we get on the next episode. Again, it's all about how much time I get to work in the garage and mess about. So hopefully it won't be too long before the next episode, but see how we get on. Thanks for tuning in. Please do subscribe if you don't already. We're almost touching, if not already will be touching 9,000 followers by the time this episode goes out, so that's fantastic. I'm in disbelief, if I'm honest. I never thought that so many people would be interested in the rubbish I do in my garage. So thank you very much. I very much appreciate your comments, appreciate your support. See you on the next one.